Hey, Melissa Hostetler here with GO-180 Fitness, bringing you some stretches that you can do at the end of your workout routine. We typically do these on the floor or on the mat, but they can be brought right to the bench or a chair if you find it difficult to get to the floor. So during our workout, we tend to stretch the arms quite a bit, so we don't do a lot of arm stretches at the end, but we do try to think about the four sides of the leg, getting that into the lower back. Starting with one leg up on your bench, make sure your foot is flexed, toes are up. You're pushing that heel down into the bench, chest is lifted, keeping that tall lifted chest, strong back, pushing down into that stretch, getting that. Your goal is to stretch the hamstring here at the back of the thigh, but you might find if you're extra tight, that stretches in your calf or right behind the knee, depending on where your tightness is. We're not going to hold any of these very long, but if you're doing this on your own, we're going to hold each stretch at least about 15 seconds. Second from there, we're going to bend the knee just a little and then draw down into that stretch. As soon as you got that stretch on, again, lifted chest, you're hinging from the hips, nice strong back, you're pressing that leg flat. Then we're just going to move in and out of that position, find your stretch with the bent knee, press that leg flat about 10 times, 10 repetitions. From there, we're bringing that same leg across the bench. What on the ground looks like the pigeon stretch. So bring that leg across, chest is lifted, you're drawing forward, again, hinging from the hips. When I say lifted chest and strong back, I mean you're keeping your back straight versus this kind of rounding down where the stretch a lot of times goes into your back and out of your hips. We're trying to keep this stretch into the hips and thigh area, holding that stretch. That's a great one. Good. And then we'll switch right over to the other leg. You do the same set on the opposite side. You start with that toe lifted, pushing that heel down, drawing the hip back, hinging from the hip, drawing forward, holding that stretch. Again, this is our hamstring stretch. You'll be holding into that one. From there, we do the soft knee, slightly bent, pushing that heel down, drawing the hip back, coming forward until you get that big stretch going on, and then slowly straighten that leg. Again, soften the knee, find your stretch, press into a straight leg. You're moving through that step by step. That third stretch is that pigeon stretch. You're bringing that leg across, chest is lifted, you're drawing forward. Now, if you have no issues with this first stretch, it's a good stretch for you. The other one that we like to add is actually just changing the angle. So your first stretch is drawing down that pigeon stretch, then you would come to the outside of that foot. So in this case, I've got my left leg on the bench, I'm coming to the outside of my left foot. I didn't show you that in the first round. But it's a great way to stretch a little deeper into your hip there and get that piriformis muscle. Good. From there, we want to do the inside of the thigh. So you want to sit on one end of the bench. That leg is going to come up. You can hold on the back of the bench. Chest is lifted. You're drawing forward, hinging from the hips. Think about pressing this leg into the bench, pressing your inner thigh, drawing forward into that stretch. It's a great stretch to get the inner thigh without having to use a lot of balance or be able to get up and down from the floor. Come to the other end of the bench. Again, take that leg up, chest is lifted, hinging from the hips, drawing forward, holding down into that stretch. Feels so good. It's a great stretch there. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is stretch the front of the thigh, and the way that I like to do that is actually at the end of the bench. So I'm going to share at this end of the bench. I'm going to sit with just my right cheek on the bench. That left leg is going to go back behind me, dropping that back knee. I can use the bench to hold, and my left arm is coming up. Chest lifts, buns tucked under, holding that stretch. If you want to add to it, bring those fingertips over the top just a little. But you're bringing that stretch to the front of the thigh, and those muscles attach up into the spine. So you want that big stretch all the way through. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So on the other side, you're taking your right cheek off the bench, that right leg behind you, right arm comes up, chest is lifted, buns tucked under. Again, add that little extra stretch as you press into it, holding it on your own for at least 15 seconds. The last one that we like to do at the end is just a good one for the shoulders. Like I said, we do minimal for the arms at the end of our workout. But you're bringing the hands behind the head, clasping them behind the head, push your head back as you push your hands forward. Open the elbows as wide as you can. Hold that stretch right there, just squeezing the shoulder blades together with that push-pull tension is a great stretch. And then we're augmenting it a little bit by taking one elbow to the sky, keeping that push-pull tension, hold that for 15 seconds. and then take your other elbow to the sky, keeping that push-pull tension, holding that for 15 seconds. That's it, just a quick series that you can use anytime. If you're not able to get up and down from the floor, the bench or a chair is a great way to get your stretches in. Hope to see you at the gym.